All right. Well, it looks like we are live today. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome everybody to Friday Night Live here on Soul Citizens. I am your wonderful host, Kelosal, and I am here with the fabulous and famous Gigi. How are you doing this evening?
Famous. Okay. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. It's good to see y'all for one more Friday Night Live.
It is absolutely good to see you guys. Listen, call your wives, call your daughters, call your friends, call your sons. Tell them all to come over and spend some time with us tonight. We are here in the new year, celebrating the new year. Welcome back. Wow, I missed you guys. It's been a long time since I've been online and chilling and having a good time with you guys.
The new year is here, and it is an adorable situation going on in Star Citizen right now with these little tickets all around Stanton, and you can find them, and it's super cute. Like, you can win stuff, y'all. Like, you can win ships and all kinds of stuff. It's really adorable. You got to get in there, check it out, try it out, and see if you win something.
All right, Go Map said audio's cutting in and out. We'll get that straightened out. Hello, Fist to Face Gaming. It's good to see you. Thanks for the music. By the way, guys, if you haven't known, I just want to send a big, huge shout out to Fist to Face and his dad, Pops to Space, because they're the ones that wrote the music for Friday Night Live and Soul Citizen. So thank you so much, guys. For everything that you do for us, and let's go ahead and get it started. I do like to go ahead and GG, if you
I would
wouldn't
just
mind.
real quick like to call
Yeah.
out that Face to Face is also the person who sent me the graphics card that I am using right now so that I can be with you guys in Star Citizen. So just, give him some love, y'all, because he's awesome.
Absolutely. If you don't mind, look, and I know, Griffin's gonna hate me on this, but I just want to go ahead and give some love to my Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Bucks won the Super Bowl, so which basically makes Tampa Bay because the Bucks win the Super
Listen,
Bowl, the Lightning won the Stanley Cup, the
I'm
Rays
letting
finished
you
second
have
place in
this
the World Cup, the Rowdies
only
finished the Eastern
as
Conference
Florida
Championship in the
man.
USL, but couldn't play because of
Like,
COVID. So
oh,
it's a wonderful time to be in Tampa, right, Gigi?
no, it is not. No, no. I'm letting you have this only because you are a Florida man.
Well,
That is it. That is all.
well, don't fault me for being a Florida man. I got my little Super Bowl cup here. My little Super Bowl cup right here. That I had a friend who went to the Super Bowl and got it. I got my little championship, at least my NFC championship. I'm still waiting for my Tampa Bay shirt that won't come until March 2nd. I'm so upset with that, but that's all right. At least that'll come around the corner. So, props to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady for getting us that title. I know you guys are going to love us. You can go ahead and jump on the bandwagon. We'll see you next year in Tampa.
Yeah, no, I'm going to pass on the bandwagons. I've hated Tom Brady for as long as I've loved football, and I'm going to have that remain until I stop loving football or I die. So, yeah.
Thank you, Fist to Face. Tom is good, and you got to give it to him. He's the GOAT, greatest
I'm not
of all
I have
time.
nothing. I am not obligated to give him anything at all.
That being said, Nihilus, how you doing? Don't do it, Colossal. I'm doing it, Nihilus. I'm doing it because we beat your team from your. Okay, I'm not even gonna say it. Yes, we can. All right, so we got a full show, and Gigi, jump in because I know you know a lot about these things. We got the Xeno threat missions that we got to talk about.
Yes.
We got the Lunar New Year that we have to talk about, and Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to you, Gigi. But at the same time, I'm gonna say Happy Valentine's Day to my mom because she's the only Valentine in my life right now, so I love her to death. We have ISC, and then we have SEL, and then we have Machinima that we got to go ahead and get to. So why don't we get to it?
Let's get started.
All right. So let's go ahead anything on Xenothreat, Gigi? Because I know you've been waiting for this.
Okay, so now I have not necessarily, I haven't, how can I put this? I haven't participated in Xenothreat, but I have watched a lot of Xenothreat, right? And I need to get in it because y'all making money hand over fist out here. And I need to be a part of this. But my only worry right now is that I'm not like prepared ship wise to be involved, because I don't generally go for bigger ships. So my ships are all kind of small, kind of nimble, other than the Cuddy, which I don't know that I want to fly into a Xenothreat. You know what I mean? So it's a gameplay situation right now, but it's been really fun watching everyone.
Well, if you hang out with a couple people, including a couple people in this room, like Nihilus, who's pretty much got all the ships, then and Griff with his Origin series, love you, Griff. You can go ahead and join it now. If you don't know about Xenothreat, guys, Xenothreat is one of the, I think it's the first dynamic event that CIG has put in the game so far. I believe they capped the players.
Thank you, Table of Horrors, for the raid.
Oh, thanks for the raid.
Thank you.
Thanks, Table. Appreciate it, buddy. Thanks for the raid. All you folks, welcome to Friday Night. We're talking about the Xenothreat right now. That's what's on the docket right now. And it's a very exciting, dynamic event that they just popped up. It's one of the first ones they just put up, right? They put a 40-person cap on this. And from what Jared Huckabee said today, that was intentional. That was intentional because you had a lot of people like me saying, "Oh my gosh, we're having 250 people, blah blah blah. Why is it 40?" But they said that was intentional. 07 Table of Horrors, good to see you, and thanks for the raid. So let's talk about it. First of all, let me ask you a question, Gigi. 40 or 50? Like it? Don't like it? Why?
Okay, so I'm on both sides of the fence with this one, right? Things have been more stable since it's gone down to 40. I tend to be buggy, but it's fine. I know it's just a me thing. But for the most part, people seem to have been being able to be in for 2 and 3 hours without 30K, depending on what they're doing. I've seen Griff do some mining, and he was in for about 2.5 hours, and he didn't 30K out, which was great. So as far as stability is concerned, you love it. But then there's less people in the verse, so there's a little bit less to do. And it's a give and a take situation, but I'm assuming that at the specific moment, they're just testing stability. So they had to bring it down a little bit because they needed the servers to be rock solid before they could, do stress tests on them. And I'm assuming everything is going to go back. I mean, eventually this will all be open world. We'll be way beyond 50 people. So I can eat it coming down for a little bit while they do some work. I'm not upset.
Okay, all right, not bad. And just once again, guys, just a little plug. If you want to come in and join us and have
Go man. ATR, you in the room with us, everyone.
Absolutely. If you want to have a conversation with us, do exactly what GoMab just did. He just popped in here. GoMab, how you doing?
Doing real good, man. How y'all doing today?
Good. Welcome to Friday Night Live at Star Citizens. We want to go ahead and so share with us. Have you played Xenothreat yet? If you have, tell us more about Xenothreat. And I know there's 3 phases, right? So we got phase 1, we got the incoming threat. Phase 2, we got the restock and rearm. And then phase 3, you have the take out the big guns, which is the capital ship battle. So if you've experienced it, tell us about it. Or if you haven't, tell us why you're excited for it. Let us know what's going on.
I've actually jumped into it a little bit. I was playing it. I did it a few times today. I was actually on Space Tomato stream earlier. We was doing it a few times. We had a good.
Yeah, I was watching.
Hear me okay?
You can get in trouble. Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead. Yeah, you say you was with Space Tomatoes, good guy, one of our friends.
Yeah. We had a great time today. I did the phase 2. Phase 2 is great money. I found out. I mean, Gigi, you don't worry about that cutting, man. Throw some attritions on there or something, and go for what you know, because you could do some damage, you can do some work.
I was watching was it SC Live or was it ISC where they were like people who were out there in their prospectors shooting mining lasers and dive bombing to make money.
Oh, that's what we were doing. Me, Space Potato,
Like,
I said
wow.
Space Potato, Space Tomato. We had a prospector army today. We was lasering them up. You know, we was having a good time. So yeah, you can go out there and you can still make a little bit of money. Phase 3 is definitely a lot less money than phase 2. Phase 2, you can just hang out and just rake in hundreds of thousands of AUC. But today, now the payout is based on the amount of damage you actually do to the Idris. And if you're not running a tally and dropping bombs on it, you're not going to make as much money. Folks have been making like 500 grand at each run if you got a tally. But with me, I got a little, like I'm taking like a Connie or something. I'll probably walk away with like 75, 85, but it's still a good time. It's still a good event.
Right, yeah. Okay.
Wow. I mean, that's just, you know what? I mean, I've participated in it, and I've done phase 1, 2, and 3. I haven't really contributed with the money phase because usually when I come in, it's somewhere in the middle. And I haven't gotten a shared mission, but I have done phases 1, 2, and 3. I love phase 3. Getting to watch the big ships fight. There were some questions that they asked today in SCL about the capital ships turning too fast and things like that. They said they're working on those types of things, trying to balance out. But I enjoy it. I think it was one of the great things they put in. Jared claims that this could be the only dynamic event, but we all know if you listen to Tony Z, there's pretty more to come. If you listen to Tony Z's rant last week. So, but I think it's well done by CIG. If you haven't played Xenothreat yet, get in there, guys, because now they finally introduced cargoes like the Zeta Polonide. They got different variants of cargoes now, some volatile, some not. You can use the tractor beam gun. I love using that. I know when it first came out, we were blowing up ships by accident because certain people the NPCs were blowing up ships. The NPCs are doing a better job. What do you think about the NPCs? Go Map.
They're doing all right. I got my Connie. I got it all kitted out. So I kill them before they render. That's what I do. But as far as the Idris is concerned, it was cool. I was able to find a nice, cool spot that I could tuck in behind the engines, and the turrets couldn't hit me. So I was just lighting them up from behind them, and they couldn't do anything. As long as I stayed out of the way of the rail gun, stayed behind the engines, I could light them up and blow them up. So it was cool, like experimenting, finding different stuff. Only damage I took was from friendly fire and splash damage, and every now and then, if there was a hammerhead still up, I got pinged. But it was fun. It was good to be out there in that type of fleet battle. We had a lot of folks out there, and it was a good time to have it all.
Now, let me ask you a question. Do you think phase 2, with the number of cargoes, do you think there's too many cargoes to be running around with, or you think that's the right number?
Nah, man, I think it's good. There's 3 different types. You got the ones that are time bound that you got to get in a certain amount of time. So you can't, you got to get it there and get there quick. The quantum travel restrictions on some of the cargo, I think, is really cool, right? Because we're just used to setting our jump point and going. So now it adds a whole nother layer to the gameplay where you need to have escorts to make sure that if some of the Xenothreat pop out and attack that person carrying it, that they can be defended. And you can't run the time bound stuff with that quantum restricted stuff, right? So right. It takes some kind of coordination. So definitely in this event, there's been a lot of layers added to the gameplay that just hasn't been there before. So I appreciate it.
Okay, yeah. I mean, if you, like I said, guys, if you don't know where you get it from, I believe, what is it, Rowena Dooley? She's the mission coordinator, I believe. The special agent in charge of the CDF coordinator Stanton system, and you can look for her. I think like the incoming threat phase 1, it happens between 24 hours and 48 hours or something like that. So you get a lot of these messages that pop up either on your screen, or if you're at Port Olisar, if you're at any of the major hubs like a Microtech or Lorville, you can actually watch them on TV. And the way how they've transitioned from it was okay to now is almost, it's pretty much solid now in terms of the TV. Imagine all of the other things that they can use. I'm talking about the display ports that they use, GG, that you see around the stations and stuff like that, and you see all these either advertisements on it and stuff like that. Those things are being used now to transmit news cycles or data. What do you think about that?
Just for 1 second, guys, just to mention, if you're interested in this Xeno Threat event guide, you can see that the link's down in the bottom right there. So just go ahead and click that and go ahead, get your way there. What was your question again, Kelosal?
The question was, how do you think? What do you think about CIG finally using the display boards that they've had on for a while? That they put either advertisements or just some type of a thing about Stanton, and all of a sudden now, within the phase one, you'll see the display board just pop up with the Xeno Threat organization.
So I was on Hurston, right, and it wasn't so much the display board as it was very cool. I was running down to the train, and it was like they took over the audio at Hurston, and they were basically saying, "Stand down or everyone will die." It was crazy, but it was so cool. And I haven't seen the display board, so I'm really loving this immersion. The way that it's all around you, it's everywhere. Like, this is happening, so you need to either take cover or get in a ship and get up here and fight.
Yeah, that's basically what's showing on the display boards. Is that audio you're hearing is what they're showing.
Nice. That's so cool. I love that.
Yeah, and I'm hoping we can go ahead and play that. We got the video on that one. You got the video, fantastic. That we can go ahead and play it.
We started tonight with 792 followers, and we're trying to get to 1,000 before March 7th, which is our 1-year anniversary. So if you're here and you're not a follower and you watch our shows and you enjoy us, please just do us the favor and click that like button, because we want to see you guys soon. And we're doing a really big giveaway on the 7th if we have 1,000 followers. So like us up, because you might win a really nice ship.
Absolutely. Good plug-in. 792 followers. Thank you, guys. Just a couple of more. We are so close to getting 1,000, and our anniversary is March 7th. So we want everybody to show up. Everybody show up with your little noise makers and all this good stuff, and your Tampa Bay Buccaneer gear and your Tampa Bay stuff, and come in and celebrate 1 year with us, guys. Because you guys helped us make this, and we really do appreciate you guys allowing us to give you another different take of supporting Star Citizen, and so we really do appreciate you. That come in and join us March 7th. All we need is just a couple of more followers, and we'll hit 1,000. We got a nice treat for you if we can hit that. Okay. Our Lord, come on, Nihilus.
Right now in Discord, just pop on in, come chat with us. Let's do some talking. We're here with GoMap ATL. We're discussing the Xeno Threat Guide. We're going to be moving on to the Lunar New Year soon. We're going to do some chatting about Star Citizen Live and Inside Star Citizen. So, pop in and give us your take on what's going on with everything.
Absolutely. Go, Matt. Anything else that you need us to talk about when it comes to the Xeno threats? I'm really excited about this dynamic event.
Well, Kelosal, I am going to tell you congratulations on the Super Bowl victory. But as you can tell by my name, I am a diehard. Sorry, I ain't got no choice, but I'm a Falcons fan. So, we'll see you next year.
Look, I hate you. Let me tell you why. Because I am also a huge diehard Atlanta Falcons fan. It's just when I moved here in Tampa in 2008, I became a resident Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan. But big time Falcons fan as well. So I'm not mad at you, buddy. ATL all the way. Just this year, it's all about Tampa Bay.
Enjoy it, man. Enjoy it.
All right, thanks, man. Appreciate that. All right, so let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about this Xeno threat, because like I said, Jared them said this is their first dynamic event, and we know it's not perfect, but wow, is this going a long way for Star Citizen? And and those of you guys that want to come in and join us, come in and join Test Squadron at times. I know they made a mention with Test Squadron.
For your 2-month subscription.
Yeah, thank you, Given. Appreciate it.
Here.
Appreciate it. 2 month subscription by Given Chuba. Appreciate it, buddy. And like I said, come in and join us, guys. Come on in the room and come on in the room.
Hey, don't leave me in here by myself, man. This is like 2-3 weeks in a row, man. I'm in here by myself. Y'all come on in here.
Come on in the room and have a good conversation with us. But like I said, the Phase 1 initiative, if you don't know about Phase 1 is just the outlaws, Xeno threats attacking corporate convos over there near Jericho. And these are people who basically, they're like racists. Pretty much, they hate, they're anti-alien, and they're against the UE's policies on bringing in other cultures and other civilizations. So they basically have had it, and they're causing a whole bunch of havoc, and they're attacking the system. And your job is to come in and join the Civil Defense Force and be that help. Yay. Now the good thing is a lot of now this is what I get upset at, because these people get mad at me and they call me Care Bear, because I'm one of the ones that always say the PvPers always get everything and the PvEers don't get anything. And the PvPers were almost crying on this event, but they made their way in because they were actually attacking the capital ships. You seen that?
Yeah.
Go back, GG.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I've seen it. I've seen them coming in and attacking, and it's like, oh hey,
Dark Knight.
I don't know. I have specific thoughts and feelings about PvPers, so it's probably best I just be quiet. From a background somewhere.
You can call me a Care Bear all you want. I call myself a gummy bear, okay? Because at the end of the day, you PvPers come in and wreck shop and ruin everything and always want to pew pew and all this. No, I'm sorry. No, I'm just joking. The PvPers. As much love.
I'm sorry. I'm not. Y'all are good people, I'm sure, but I don't like y'all style of gameplay at all.
I don't mind PvP. I don't like griefers.
Yeah. And that's a tough subject, right? Because people want to stretch what a definition of a griefer is, right? They want to stretch it. They try to make sense of some type of gameplay. I get the PvP gameplay. I get the lawlessness. I mean, it makes the game, if you're coming out there thinking that everything's going to be safe and all of a sudden you blow up and you're like, they're griefing me? Really? Are you sure about that? Now, they're griefing you. They hit you 7 or 15 times for nothing and they got nothing for it.
Right, yeah. If there's no purpose.
Right, exactly.
If there's no purpose for you to kill me other than, you're mad at your parents or something, I don't know. But if there's no purpose for you to kill me, you get nothing from that, then that's griefing. But if you get some type of reward for making my ship go pop, then yes, game on, let's do it. But to me, there's a distinct line between griefing and PvP.
Right. You're right. And a lot of people want to stretch that terminology. What do you think, GG?
I just don't like either one, but that I get what you're saying and I agree, but I just don't like either one because I tend to like being left alone.
Right. Now I say that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
We could really talk about this all night. We should probably move on to the Lunar New Year.
Yeah, well, that's fine. But I will. But I say that because we saw a lot of that happening with the Xeno threat, and I thought it was a different style of gameplay. So let's do the Lunar Year. Go ahead. Go for it, Griff. Join in the celebration. It is the Red Festival time. Once again, come on in, guys, and join us. We got Fist to Face up in here. Fist to Face, welcome aboard, buddy. Good to see you.
Hey, how are you?
Good to see you, Fist. First of all, thank you for all the work that you've done for us, man. Go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us more about you, buddy.
Oh, well, I guess I'm Fist to Face Gaming. As you guys know me, basically been playing games for a while. Play with my dad, Pops in Space.
We love Pops. We stand Pops.
Yeah. Yeah. He's back here in the back listening,
Hey, Pops.
Hey, Pops.
He's back there. Yeah. I guess I'm gonna keep it short and sweet, but he was the one who actually got me into video games. So yeah.
Nice. See what you did,
Yeah.
Pops. See what you did. At least Pops was able to share with his son. That's always a good thing.
Yeah.
I'm
So-
normally not one for like paints and skins, okay? But I got my Cuddy with the Best in Show skin because it's beautiful. And now I'm looking at this red and gold and I'm like, but I want to be Iron Man. Like,
They should have put it on better ships.
ridiculous. I know. Okay, so that part I agree with. Don't let Melvillus hear you say that, but don't nobody want no red and gold freelancer.
If I had a freelancer, maybe. But look, Nomad should just be renamed to a LTI token. That's all it was.
Well, the love that's coming for these ships.
They're going to tweak it. It will be better.
I mean, well, let's talk about it. Let's see. Okay, you got the Lunar New Year, right? And first of all, Happy New Year to the folks over there in Asia. It's supposed to be the year of the ox, right? It's supposed to be the year of the ox, but if CIG wants to go to the ram route, they want to do the ram stuff. So apparently they got pictures of the ram and stuff like that. That's why you see the pictures of the ram here. And they're saying that gold is supposed to be for red is supposed to be for good fortune, I guess. And it's right around the time of Valentine's Day, and the 3 ships that are available. And let's talk about them. The Griff's going to love this. The Origin M50. That's about 100. The Drake Caterpillar. That's about 295. And you got the Cartual, which is about what, 170. Anybody got any of those ships? Start with Fist to Face.
I got a cat.
Got a cat? Go back.
Yep.
You got one of these lovely ships that you can convert over to a lucky red ships. That's what they call them.
I didn't see you could convert the cat to it, but mine is blue, and I like blue. So I'm going to keep it blue.
Okay. They do have some red paints. I mean, they do have a red paint for the Nomad. That's about, what, $7? And they do have some red paint for, sorry, Melvillus. I mean, GG says she loves your ship, figuratively. The Freelancer, both the DUR and the regular Freelancer, that's about $9. But they do have a package for both the Nomad and the Freelancer for $13. If you want to go ahead and buy those skins or those red paints. So, I mean, not my cup of tea as far as the ships. You get Drake. The Caterpillar is great, but once again, you get a Drake, you down a Drake. All you Drake lovers. But it's a good time. I mean, what do you think, GG? It's around Valentine's.
It's too early in the night for you to be making me roll my eyes. Okay, so let's just start with that. Also, we got the year of the ox right now, but I'm like, when we get in the year of the panther? Because, yeah. But
Wakanda forever.
Wakanda.
I mean, even with that being put in, they do have stuff with Valentine's Day on this one. I do have some Valentine's Day card jokes for you guys if you want to hear them. I'm going to spat one now. If you ever want to look at some good Valentine's Day, they do have some Valentine's Day stuff for you guys. And I believe that's from February. It's starting now, I believe. Talking about some type of. The storyline is basically there's a dude named Yori who is looking for his wonderful love, and apparently one of the other persons get lost on the other side of a wormhole and they can't go anywhere. So this dude is looking for them, and spend so much time looking for them. They send messages to the parents every day, letting the parent know that they're looking for the lost love. And apparently, it's in the Karamor system or something like that. And it's a Valentine's that showed love, to giving and caring. And a lot of people took that lore and made it a lore. And apparently, the dude transmission stopped, and it became a thing. That's the lore of the game. So you might want to check that out.
All right then.
It's called Anything for My Karamor, I guess. And so it happens every time around this time of year. And go read the story. It's quite nice, and it's in the Galactopedia, I guess. The ships that are available are the Hornet, Heartseeker. Do you have a Heartseeker, Fifth Face and Goldman?
No, I don't have a Hornet. I just bought a what was it, Pops? Hercules? The Hercules.
Hercules.
Which one? The C2, the M2, or the A?
M2 military.
The military one.
Yeah, I just copped the C2. Don't tell my wife.
Okay. I won't tell your wife, but I will say it's about $360 on the market.
Wouldn't that man just say, don't tell his wife?
But I mean, if you're looking for a loved one, by the way, you want to purchase a card for your loved one, maybe you can get a card that says, let me get Happy Valentine's Day to myself. I love you. Just saying.
That's dark, man. That's dark.
Stay away from the humor.
Just saying. I mean, there are a lot of good ones out there. Will you be my Valentine? That was a rhetorical question. You have no choice. We're married.
Too late.
Oh no.
Just saying, if you're looking for a good Valentine's Day card for a loved one, this year's Valentine's Day, I will enjoy long romantic walks to the fridge. Just saying. Just trying to help you guys out, in terms of your Valentine's Day card. I love you because you are almost exactly like me, and I'm the best.
Public
what do you think, Gigi?
That's a good one.
That last one I'm not mad at.
Yeah, public service announcement, Kelosal. Public service announcement.
I guess we on a roll tonight.
I have to make a public service announcement. Kelosal is single, so y'all please forgive him, okay?
Yeah,
I'm gonna say, all right?
Griffin, you're real low. You're real low in Discord.
Yeah.
The reason why he wasn't supposed to be heard.
Yeah, I said public service announcement, Kelosal is single, so y'all excuse him. That's what I said.
He was on a roll. He was on a roll, though.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
He was on a roll by himself, but he was on a roll.
I was trying to help y'all out. I mean, I was trying to give y'all cards that a lot of people sent out. Here's one good card, and I'll just move on. Screw Valentine's Day. I'm just waiting for the discounted chocolate on February 15th.
You ain't lying about that, though.
Yeah.
I don't want to hijack anything, but you're not lying about that.
After Valentine's.
You're not lying about that. That's the same way I do on Halloween.
I'm just joking. Don't use that to your wives, your girlfriends, your boyfriends. I'm just here to help out those people who looking for social interaction.
God help you.
So with that being the case, the ships that are on sale for the Lunar New Year as well are the Hercules ships. As a matter of fact, I have a C2. I'm going to love every minute when it comes out.
Yeah, I grabbed the C2 as well.
I think Griff has a C2. I don't have a C2, clearly, because,
Well, I had a C2, then I upgraded to an M2 at Invictus, and then in November I upgraded to an A2.
Big money.
Oh, nice.
That's that Origin whale money right there.
With the Origin fleet,
Yeah.
right?
That's what it is right there. He was the one that probably was on the board that demanded that the M50 be on sale. But I wouldn't be surprised.
So can I ask though? So Griff, do you plan on doing a bombing run somewhere?
When it comes to combat and military, that's the area I focus in. So I've got stuff like the Eclipse and the bombers and things like that. That's the thing. That's my contribution, is to be in a squadron with bombers.
Oh,
not a dogfighter,
okay.
not a dogfighter, but we got the Retaliator, got all that stuff. So that's the stuff I'm into.
Oh, okay, cool.
He trying to drop bombs over Baghdad.
Drop bombs on the Kelosal if you keep with these bad Valentine's jokes.
Oof.
Do you want mine or do you want fast cards? Which one?
Oh no.
Keep right on ahead, brother. Keep right on ahead, please.
Oh boy.
So, love you, fast cards. So paint the town red. So go around, guys, during the Lunar New Year, and there's a lot of red festival cards. The Banu takes them and try to hide them. If you don't know about the lore. But go ahead and look for these. They're around the galaxy. They're around the verse. You can go ahead and trade them in for money. They say you can go ahead and trade them in for some lucky things. Don't know what it is. So go ahead and celebrate the Lunar New Year by finding these red cards. Send us pictures or send us things. I would like to know where you found them at so I can get a couple. And
Yeah, where can they be found at? You know?
They're in the Stanton system right now.
Yeah,
actually,
they're scattered throughout. Sometimes you might go to a base, for example, on a moon, and it'll just be laying there on a cargo container or on a shelf. So you just have to kind of keep your eye open for them.
They're hiding. What did it say there? It said they're hiding red envelopes across the landing zones of Stanton. So you just got to kind of run across one.
So it's not like the gifts where they were mostly in the cities.
Not this time. Yeah.
No.
I haven't checked it yet. I'm gonna have to check and see. All right. So with that being the case, I guess we can go to our next topic. And the next topic, first of all, once again, if you guys this is Friday Night Live. Welcome to Star Citizens. To Soul Citizens, and we enjoy your company.
So
Talking about Star Citizen, GG.
We would love it if you guys would pop in and talk to us. The Discord link you can find either if you scroll up in chat or you can find right underneath our About section. Also, if you're here hanging out and you like what you hear, you like who we are, then go ahead and give us a follow because we are trying to get to 1,000 followers before March the 7th, which is our 1-year anniversary. So, with that all being said, we are going to move in. Are we doing SC Live or ISC next, you guys?
We're doing ISC next.
We're going to move
doing
on
ISC.
to ISC then, you guys.
We took a lot of inspiration from sort of real life docking UIs and procedures, and we distilled it down into what was really important.
The process as a whole feels very satisfying to go through.
Docking is actually an easier experience than we thought it would be because of how useful the UI is in explaining what you need to do.
With our implementation as we have it right now, you would target like what you're wanting to dock with. So with this case of a ship-to-ship, you're targeting the constellation.
Making the Merlin attached to the Connie has been an interesting challenge of tech that we've put in. We've kind of pushed forward the physics grid tech. We're one of the first features to use the new ability for us to connect two physics grids together, which is a feature that had been in development in sort of lower level engine tech for quite some time, but we're testing that on a real gameplay feature. We've made a new airlock that lets you properly airlock at the back of the constellation when you're going through and opening the little doors underneath the constellation. We've also worked a lot on the sort of transition between the two ships, so getting out of the Merlin, getting back in, making that experience really smooth.
Let's say we're starting from, you've gone down to a planet on your Merlin, and you've decided that you're going to come back up and start docking again. You will target as if you were targeting to fire on your ship, but instead of attacking it, you press, for now we have it as set to a key, which currently is the same as the landing key, that will essentially send a request to your ship, at which point your docking doors will start opening, and you'll get some fancy little HUD coming up of your docking alignment. You have two options. You have an automatic mode and a manual mode.
The landing button is what you would use to dock, but if you hold it down similar to auto landing, you can get an auto dock feature, which will fly your ship up and then connect it for you.
It's much quicker and I guess more satisfying to use the manual docking, which you'll have to align all of the values yourself.
And so we've made this thing where there's like a ring that shows you how aligned you are. So it has these three little dots, one around the outside of the ring and then two in the middle. And then as you like align your Merlin with the back of the constellation, these dots will line up in the center, and you know that you've then aligned your ship. And then there's a little box that as you move your Merlin around relative to the constellation, this little box moves around, and the goal is to get the box in the center, and that's when you know that you are like pretty much matched up exactly in the right place.
You'll be able to get out and be straight into your constellation. If you don't own the constellation, it's a little bit different.
If you're trying to dock with a constellation that's not yours, then the owner of the constellation will get a message saying, hey, Dave's trying to dock with your constellation. Are you okay with that? If you press no, then they'll get turned away. If you press yes, then the docking doors on the constellation will open and then you're free to go and dock. An exciting part of this is that this will be the first version of ship-in-ship spawning that we release. So when you go to your ASOP menu in the station, spawn a constellation, and you have set that on the docking port, you have a Merlin there. You can set that in your VMA, in your Mobiglass. And if that is set, then when you spawn the constellation, there will be a Merlin there. And equally, if you unattach it or remove it from the docking port in your VMA, and then despawn your constellation and spawn back again, it won't be there. We don't quite know when we will expand this to other ship-in-ship spawning situations, but I'm pretty confident that this is a good first step in this direction, and certainly going forward it's going to be easier and easier for us to do this kind of thing. Ship-to-station docking is quite a different process to Constellation and Merlin docking, but we've tried to keep it as similar and consistent as possible. The first two ships that have ship-to-station docking will be the Hammerhead and the 890.
With the case of ship to station, you're targeting the entire station as a whole. If you have the right docking ports and you have permission to dock there, it'll kind of search for the docking ports that it has, and if it has docking ports free of like the right size, it'll begin the docking process. And very similar to ship-to-ship docking, it'll be a nice little HUD showing up.
Once you are accepted docking permission, you'll see this arm animating out to reach some point, and you'll be guided to the point where the arm will be when it's finished its animation. So if you manage to maneuver in place before the arm finishes its animation, then it will just animate and connect. Otherwise, it'll be there, then you can fly up and connect to it. And once that's happened, you're pretty much then joined with the station, and you can walk out of your ship, open your doors, walk through the docking arm into the little lobby area that we built.
We've got a docking port relative mode that will basically let you kind of change view so that you're like looking as if you were looking out through the docking port. And we'll also change the control scheme as well, so that if you're trying to align and you find it difficult to do it by looking through the cockpit, you can do it by looking through the docking port.
We've been really trying to make the experience pleasant for the players. I think long term we would really like it if there's some kind of like docking management MFD screen in your ship. So, you know, if you're in the Hammerhead, there's like a little terminal where you can pick the docking port that you want to attach to on your ship, and similarly you'll make requests to the air traffic control to dock on the station.
I'm just pleased with how smooth it can feel. An analogy I'd use, I guess, would be like doing a really good parking job. It feels really similar. That moment where you kind of align perfectly and the square goes green and all of the little indicators are telling you that you've done a good job. It's just really satisfying.
You can talk about that.
All right, so I have a question. First of all, the new flight landing thing. What do you think? What do you think? Starting with fifth space. What do you think, buddy?
I like it. I'm glad to see that progress is being made. To me, I would like to see definitely this is a step in the right direction for a gameplay with the other ships like the Halls and that gameplay with the Orion. So I'm ecstatic for it, you know.
Okay, ATL, I see you talking about a lot of good things over there. What do you think about the docking collars? About time or overdue?
I mean, I think it's it's right on time, right? You know, If you've been following this game for a while, you're gonna be in bad shape if you're waiting on stuff to come soon, right? But I think 2021 is going to be a year where you're going to see a lot of new features coming in. That's going to be smoothing out a lot of the jagged edges. The docking, the Connie was one of the iconic ships that really drew me to the game when I first got into it, right? Just the on paper, the Connie should be one of the most dominant ships in the game, right? It really should be. It just hasn't lived up to it, and one of the reasons why is because the Merlin couldn't detach and redock to it. But now that they're working on that and that's coming soon, that's making me really excited. And, I melted my Connie back in the day I actually melted my Connie for an MSR. And after I saw this, I went back and I bought it out of the buyback.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. GG, two questions for you. The new flight landing mode, how do you like that? And then, of course, the docking collars, about time or overdue? Starting with the flight mode.
Flight mode. Well, kind of like the way Fist Face said, I'm excited because of what that means for mining. Especially as far as, like he said, the haulers and things like the Orion. I'm super excited for that because you know how I feel about mining. And if I were going to buy one of those giant, Star Citizen ships, it would be the Orion because I am a miner hardcore. Like, that is my game. So giving me, more gameplay around mining, work. I'm for it. Let's do it. As far as the docking collars, yes, please. And I'm not going to fuss. I'm not going to complain because I'm going to say there's been a lot of games lately that we have seen come out and faceplant, did not take the time to do what they should have done and to make sure that it was in its best working order before they put it out to people. So I am going to do my best to remain patient and not tell them to move faster. But I am so excited for docking and what that means for cargo and what that means for gameplay in and of itself. I think we're all going to have a lot more fun with these advancements.
Yeah, I think it's exciting. Sorry for the melting of that Phoenix fast car. I know you're gonna get that back sometime soon. But the new flight landing mode, to me, that was something that we've been waiting in for a long time, because we've all been saying how they need to come up with a different display system for landing, just landing alone. And now all of a sudden you're putting this type of landing system in, starting with the Connie. And we all know the Connie is Chris, that's Roberts Space Industries. I mean, that's Chris Roberts, company right there. So we already know that Chris Roberts is trying to make sure that if he's going to implement anything with landing, it's going to be with that company first. And Roberts Space Industry being one of the first major companies out there anyways, it makes me want to buy my Connie right on back. I do think that with the docking collars, I think one of the first ones, and correct me if I'm wrong, one of the first ships they're going to go ahead and implement that with is the Hammerhead. So if you have a Hammerhead and the 890, as a matter of fact, if you looked at continue to look at the video, the Hammerhead and the 890. So that makes Griff happy. I know he's salivating left, right, and sideways.
Red in Cheshire Cat.
So Griff is going to be happy with the 890.
They knew what they were doing.
Being able to dock first along with the Hammerhead. The Hammerhead was already designed and already set up, because remember the other ships, they had to change, I believe, the size. The size wasn't the right size with the other ships, but the Hammerhead, the front part of the Hammerhead, was the right size, and I believe that was the way to go. So kudos to Star Citizen. Anybody got a Hammerhead? Fist to face, I'm going to ride with you, or what?
Yeah, actually, Pops has it. He owns one.
It's nice. So we're gonna go ahead and get Pops in space to go ahead and throw out his Hammerhead and ride on in there and dock, and then run through the docking collars. Maybe take a couple pictures. But
Sure.
so I mean, phenomenal thing with that. I think they also talked about in this series as well. What else they talked about, GG?
What are you
We got
saying?
more. We got more on the video, so we can keep rolling.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, because I definitely wrote some things down. I'm ready to go. Let's go for it, Griff.
When the first version of docking comes online in the upcoming Alpha 3.13, it'll be an exciting next step in realizing the full potential of some of Star Citizen's largest and smallest spacecraft alike. But up next, what do space plants, explosives, tapioca dumplings, and government fines all have in common? Well, would you believe they're all a part of this week's sprint report? They are. Let's get to it. To start things off this week, let's jump into the terrestrial depths of caves as members of the Planet Content team continue to explore new and varied caverns and entrances suited to ground vehicles and spacecraft alike. What you're seeing here are early designer experimentations used like concepts are for anything else. Now, these traversable concepts are made using incredibly rough debug art and are presented to directors in this rough early state so that everyone involved can determine which direction is best to take further visual development in. The focus of this sprint was to explore new traversal options for ground vehicles like the Grey Cat Rock. Now, these new options are necessary because designers want to add a variety of new mission and mining opportunities for players exclusively with dedicated craft way down in the subterranean depths of Stanton's planets and moons. They're also exploring creative traversal options for spacecraft, where skilled pilots will need to navigate their ships carefully through the claustrophobic terrain to deliver themselves to some of Star Citizen's most difficult to reach prizes. Now, as you might imagine, it's really important to explore these extreme ideas and determine which ones are suitable to take forward through development in this early debug state seen here. This is so that artists don't end up wasting their time bringing something to a final look that ends up being impossible for players to actually discover. And we'll check in again on these exciting upcoming additions to Caves in the coming weeks. Now, while those folks are working on Caves, other members of the Planet Content team recently completed a sprint developing some of the new harvestables to be found in the upcoming Pyro system, like this Motia scrub, a plant that actually relies on solar flares that would otherwise char the planet's surface for its reproduction.
Like a kid in a candy store.
And the Pangala, a unique plant of its own where nearly every aspect of it follows the golden ratio as it grows, which ends up making it highly sought after by plant collectors wanting to cultivate them. And with the final concepts approved, the next step is to move into production so that one day these two will find themselves dotting the landscapes of Pyro's planets and moons. For those who remember Calyx's look at the Interaction Zoo last year, the Weapons Content team just completed an art pass on bringing the Shape Charge device from Bearing to life, a tool to be used for the breaching of locked doors in both the Persistent Universe and Squadron 42. Returning to the world of logos, several new brands were recently introduced for review by directors, including Tip Top, the bite-sized tapioca-wrapped dumplings from Terra Mills, Fish Ringers, the deep-fried fish ring that started life as a popular beach snack in a converted donut shop on the planet Kelosal, and Pyrotechnic Amalgamated, the now-defunct mining company responsible for the original discovery of the Pyro system and the abandonment of Ruin Station. As for which ones will make their way into the persistent universe, well, we'll all just have to wait and see. As work on the colonialism-style homesteads continues, the props team, hungry to join the fight, has jumped in with a variety of food-related items designed to populate one of the principal social areas found within. Now, social areas like this will be essential to making the NPC settlements found throughout the persistent universe feel simultaneously alive and lived in, while also serving as potential mission hubs, drop-off points, and general meeting areas for players. And lest you think food is the only thing on the props team's minds, they also broke out into the world of chairs, tables, lights, control panels, plants, shelves, and more. But outside of homesteads, The props team took an early sprint looking at ways to revamp some of the kiosks found throughout the Stanton system, with a specific look at these official fine kiosks from the Office of Imperial Justice. Sure, paying your due to the man isn't the most fun thing in the world, but it doesn't mean you can't look better while you do it. And finally, we have a very quick look at one potential layout for the currently unnamed Reputation Manager app for mobiGlas. With the first iteration of Reputation going out recently in 3.12, this early exploration is an exciting next step in the development of this long-awaited feature from the USPU gameplay feature team. So what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that in the upcoming Alpha 3.13, one of Star Citizen's oldest dreams will become a reality with the addition of docking to the persistent universe. That coming up, there's going to be new ways to explore even newer caves beneath Stanton's surfaces. And that fish rings are a thing. I'm going to go ahead and blame Will Weisbaum for that. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. We'll see you next week.
Okay, not bad. A lot of things to talk about there, but before we go ahead and talk about it, if once again Valentine's Day is coming up, and if you need a Valentine's card, give it to your friend. You can go ahead and give her this card with this saying: "Love is a two-way street, constantly under construction." So
that one isn't that terrible.
Womp womp womp.
That one ain't gonna. That's not gonna get me a coupon to a divorce lawyer. So I'll take that one.
yeah, I gotta tell them, I'm gonna keep them coming. Gigi, it's coming straight to you. It's coming to you. Caves, mining. You said you were a miner. What do you think?
Why do y'all do this? Why do you do this? I don't. Why? Like, seriously.
What do you think about?
Know how I feel. Now, look, I will say the caves were beautiful. I will say that they were lovely, and I love that they were giant enough that you could go through them in a vehicle. The likelihood that I'm going to get in a vehicle and go through them is slim to none.
Okay.
But they look lovely. But I just get lost, man. You know, and I'm.
I have to be honest. I have not made myself a way out of the mines yet. Don't say anything, peoples. Every time I go in there, I never get out, and I have to log out. I have to log out.
Killing myself or logging on out.
Mm-hmm. Fist to face. What do you think, buddy? With the new mines, and looks like everybody's been talking about, Star Wars and racing through these mines with these little ships. It's gonna be a lot of explosions.
Yeah, exactly. That one definitely for sure on that. I'm looking forward to taking my Argo mole out there, because I saw that in the first part and seeing what kind of minables or new minerals they may add, to the game if they do. That's me. I will get out my ship and take a look around.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, go Matt. What do you think, buddy?
And I'm like you. I've never made it out of a mine alive. If they make them a little bit easier to traverse, I'll definitely be trying to see. But they got flares in the game now, right? Maybe they say, hey, look, drop a few flares here and there to mark your way out, right?
Well, the flares don't stay lit long enough. They're gone by the time you turn back trying to make your way out. Been there, tried that one, buddy.
Yep, same here. They're gone by the time you do that. You turn around,
turn around and you ain't got nothing but the dark way behind
Absolutely.
you.
Absolutely.
You got to count your steps like back in the day, right?
Yeah, and drop some gummy bears and
even if we could get like
candy.
an in-game compass, you know what I mean? Like if I just had a compass, I would be able to do better. But just give me some sort of way to orient myself while I'm down there. Otherwise, I can't be bothered.
Yep, 07, Hello Doc, 07 to you, buddy, 07. Go ahead.
So in the centuries that have passed from today to the time of Star Citizen, apparently Google Maps has been outlawed. So I don't know, we're going to get that.
Yeah, well, I know the gray cat lovers are going to love this. That was part of the reason why they created the gray cats, folks. Though you have gray cats because remember they talked about it when they first put out the gray cats. They wanted a vehicle that's going to be able to traverse in a cave. So, I mean, we've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for this. It's going to be interesting to see what organizations do with this. I wouldn't be surprised if this became a part of the Daymar rally, like maybe a part of ships. Maybe they would have, something to go ahead and add with cave traversing with racing. Might be. Interesting. What do you think, Gigi?
I could see them using the caves like
being maps.
No, I mean I could see like smugglers and pirates and thieves using the caves as like a hub or a base of operations.
Yeah, subterranean bases I think would be cool. Maybe subterranean homesteads. That'll be super dope.
That would be pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Pickle skin, no, that's not a pioneer. That looks like a mole. Pickle skin looks like a mole.
Question real quick.
Sure, go ahead.
Since I'm kind of fairly new to a lot of the information that you guys are talking about with the caves and stuff like that. My question is are these going to be brand new caves or are they going to reconstruct the caves that are already in the game?
Good question. Don't even have the answer to that. I know they said that they have caves that they were creating for this very sole purpose. So I mean I wouldn't be surprised if these were in addition, or I mean it'd be even more amazing if they made it connect. You know, maybe you got to a point to where you really couldn't get even further, any further, and then you had to go ahead and walk and traverse the way the rest of the way through. But that's an interesting question. To be determined.
Yeah, if I can
interesting question.
If I can jump in for a second.
Any more Valentine's Day cards that you guys would love to go ahead and look after? There's one in particular that you may want to get. It says, "If love is the answer, could you rephrase the question?"
Yeah, okay. On that note, I'm gonna jump in for a second.
Man, who hurt you? Who hurt you?
Yeah,
I'm gonna vinegar chips.
I know. I'm gonna jump in for a second. Fist, to answer your question a little bit when you're talking about the caves, they did, as Kelosal mentioned, the caves that we have now were just the first iteration of caves.
Okay.
And so there was going to always be this expansion, and that's like he was mentioning about. They've always talked about that we would have these caves that we could drive into, even fly into. They talked about sinkholes. They talked about a whole bunch of things in relation to caves. So it will probably be an expansion of what's there. I don't think it means that they're going to remove the ones that are there as much as like Kelosal said, because they showed us all types of stuff with wide open areas inside previously, but you couldn't drive into them. But now taking a vehicle in is kind of like that next step to where they've gone to with this.
Okay, cool.
Yep. And good points, Griff. So, like I said, I mean, I'm excited about the new mining system that they finally are bringing in the game. I mean, we've been waiting for this for a long time since they brought in the Gray Cats. I'm also big time excited, and now they just pop up, about the new harvestables that they're putting in, especially with Pyro. I mean, Pyro has a pulsating sun. So obviously that area is way too hot. I want to check and see if they're going to be able to put in, if they're going to restrict some types of ships. What do you guys think? Pyro, harvestables, you can go ahead and pick up these things. If you got an Endeavor, if an Endeavor comes in and you got one of those science hubs or things like that, and you want to create your space medical, for medicinal purposes, what do you guys think?
Man, looking at those pictures, I ain't smoking none of that. I don't know what you're talking about.
Honey, not into that, okay? That looks like death.
That would be cool though. I mean, because my dad actually has an Endeavor with all of the attachments, so this is definitely gonna be up my alley.
Very cool.
Yeah. I mean, amazing job. I'm still waiting for a lot of these harvestables to pop in the game, especially ones that they claimed that was in game that wasn't in game, to be harvested, not to be purchased. All right, Gigi.
That is something that I am looking forward to.
So we're not going to talk about the fish donuts?
Oh yeah,
that's coming up.
The advertisement.
That's coming up. We're not there yet.
Absolutely, yeah. The fish donuts. We got the fish donuts. You got top. What was the tip top or? I mean,
Fish donuts.
the fish donuts. Donuts.
Gotta cut this out. They do. They gotta stop. Fish
I'm hungry
donuts.
now.
It looks fantastic, but their
Uh,
rings, the dumplings.
No. Look. Nope.
Fish ringers.
Would they say that the dumplings were wrapped in? What is it? Was it tapioca?
Tapioca.
Or was it,
Yeah.
Tapioca,
They're not.
tapioca
Yeah,
dumplings.
and they're not
And
fish
fish
donuts. They're not fish. They're not fish
Oh,
donuts.
no.
They're not fish
You call
donuts.
that
They're
tapioca?
not fish donuts. What they said was
I
there
mean,
was a
that's
place.
interesting, but
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah, guys, they're not fish donuts. What they said was that the donut place opened up in a place that used to be a fish donut store. Is what they said. They just they're not. They're like chicken rings. That's what they're saying. They're fish rings. They're not like donuts.
well, yeah, like L-Doc said, somebody actually was talking about it earlier in their stream. It was fish, yeah. I don't want to repeat
They said
that.
they opened them up in an old donut store, is what they said. Colossal giving out bad
Can you
info.
imagine the smell of powdered sugar and fish?
Oh God.
They
Oh,
got. They
man.
got
I had a hot light, like Krispy Kremes, come and get them hot.
Okay.
Hot and fresh.
I mean, to be clear, they're called fish ringers. They're just fish, they're not donuts. And just to help you guys out. A guy knows. I mean,
It'll always be
it's-
fish donuts to me. Every time I see him in game, it'll be
all
fish
it is
donuts.
just basically fish rings, and you just get you some. I mean, if you like me, get you some tartar sauce and some hot sauce and some wheat bread, and just put it in between that, and that's it.
Honey wheat bread for me.
There you go. There you go, fast card. See, it's 12:30 right now for me, and I'm getting ready to go downstairs and go make me something.
in addition, so, all right, so
Let's go back to the door. Go back to the door breacher. We don't miss that.
yeah, the door breacher. That's how I had that down. Bearing, right? Bearing creates this. So this is one of the things that people have been definitely looking forward to. Those of you, I mean, it's not really a hacking thing, I guess. It's basically a door. So, I mean, right now people are doing what? I know with a Cutlass Black, if you have a Cuddy, I think, Gigi, you have a Cuddy, right?
I do.
Okay, yeah, your ship is easily be broken into right now. Because I think people are going in and just taking a gun and just shooting the side door panels, and it pops open. Seen that a couple times. But now you have this thing here that's called what? That's made by Bearing. It looks like you put it on there, it deploys, and it's gonna what? Blow up? Is that what it looks like it's gonna do?
Like a shape charge.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is another good gameplay for bounty hunters or at least pirates.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Rattle and Hum, for subscribing with a Prime membership. We appreciate you.
Yep. I mean, what do you think? Go Mav, you got a caterpillar, don't you?
Yep.
This might not do well for you, sir.
That's all right. They got to catch me first.
I mean, this is an interesting tool to have. I mean, I mean, first of all, I want to know if can you make it. Obviously, can you buy it? You're gonna have to buy it. You're gonna have to make it. Will it be a consumable that you can make? I mean, this is very interesting that CIG is putting this in. One of the first companies, Bearing, to make this. I need to do more research on Bearing in terms of what they do a little bit more too as well. But I'm interested to see how this works. What do you think, Fist to Face?
Oh yeah, I want it now because I want to breach somebody's ship now. To be honest with you, I want to see how the way it works. Because for me, owning an Orion, I would like to know anything that's going to basically be a threat to my ship. So I want to know the mechanics of how it works, so the way that I can counteract it.
I just wonder if it's going to blow up the door, thereby removing the physicalized entity of the door, or if it's going to blow the door open, right, and leave the door in place. Just curious.
Yeah, that's a good point to make. When we see a physical visual of the door being blown open, where they have different varieties of physical damage of the door. Will it be blown inward? Will the entire door be blown out? Will the door just pop open? I would assume that they would put different varieties for that door to be busted. We'll see. It's a good question. Gigi?
Pirates are terrible. Find something better to do with yourself than ruining someone else's day.
You have what I want, and I want it without any charges. That's
Which
just how
makes
it's
you
going to be.
terrible. Find something better to do with your day than ruining someone else's.
Hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, so that's pretty much everything dealing with ISC. I mean, 26 minutes long, I believe. A lot of good things in there, from caves to gray cats going in there, from ships to flying into caves.
That's
New
not everything.
types of logos that they have,
Yep.
from tip top to fish ringers.
And that's not everything. You still got one more thing.
Oh, we still got one more thing.
Yes,
You go ahead
sir.
and go for it. Okay, let's go.
Yes,
Let's just
sir.
roll it.
Give me a second. You got to talk about that all that furniture and the stuff for the the housing and stuff.
Yeah, they did. I guess I didn't talk about it that much because they talked about it last week, right? I guess they talked about a whole bunch
not
of.
the furniture. Not the furniture.
Oh, okay.
It's all new stuff. Homesteads they did talk about, but the furniture's new.
Now I am excited with Pyrotechnic Amalgamated, because, of course, the company that is in Pyro, the Pyro system. I am excited about that.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, I guess with the furniture and stuff, it's good that they're having different iterations. I mean, what do you guys think? Now it seems like they're coming out with the homestead stuff. Look at the foods. We got the different types of furniture. We got different types of lights that were out there as well. Different types of tables that they're bringing into the game. It seems like now they're bringing in the habitat part of the gameplay, which may. I mean, what do you guys think? It may suggest that we may get some type of a habitat hub player created. What do you think? Starting with Go Map, and then we'll go GG, and then we'll go Fist to Face. Go Map.
All right, they're just going to try to recreate the cantina on Tatooine, essentially, for bounty hunters to come pick up missions and do all kind of different stuff. But I mean, yeah, this is just more world building, fleshing out the environments, making it more realistic, so to speak. It's work that has to be done. Honestly, in this type of release, the Inside Star Citizen, to me, it's kind of like filler, right? Yeah, that's great. Oh, you got 3 different models of stools. Fantastic. Tell me about the tech.
Right. GG, what do you think?
I think it's pretty cool. I'm more interested in like the flora, the fauna, and the plant life, and the ability for farming that comes along with homesteading and having that kind of thing. I'm that kind of person that builds a giant, beautiful base and then never furnishes it, because I just don't care to be bothered with the little details on the inside. And I know that a lot of people are, and for them that's great. And I'm really hoping that they're gonna really enjoy this. These are some like sleek, nice options that they have, which I'll give, but it's just I'm along the lines of Go Map. Like, give me the tech, show me something new that's gameplay and not just pretty.
Okay, all right. Fist to Face, what do you think about the new chairs and the new outlays they have ready for deploy? Looks like somewhere around between now and winter.
You know what? This is right up my alley, me and Pops's. I mean, this is basically what we live for in an MMO. This is all we did in other MMOs, was just get yourself a homestead and furnish it, and because it's an enjoyment to me. I kind of got into it, he got me into it, where it was cool thing where you just see how you furnish out your house, and decor and all of those other things. It was really cool, and I actually got into it. I enjoyed it a lot. So yeah, I'm excited for it. I definitely, for me, I like the variety of chairs, so I'm the opposite. So
I think this is. There's nothing wrong with it. I think this is phenomenal. It reminds me, the 2 games that I know I did a lot as far as customization, and I'll start with the one that I least customized, was Star Wars Galaxies. Star Wars: The Old Republic. And because they do give you hubs, areas where you can go ahead and purchase a certain location, like drumming costs and things like that, and you can go ahead and spruce up your habitat. And Star Wars Galaxy. I think Star Wars Galaxy is one of the most diverse games that I played as far as MMO, and allowed you to go ahead and create and set up your house. And I see what Star Citizen is doing. I mean, they talk about trophies and rewards and things like that, and it talks about getting points with certain types of factions and things like that. Remind me what the name of that title is when you go ahead and getting achievements and things like that, or you're making your situation better with certain organizations like UE reputation. Thank you. It just blew my mind. It's Friday night. But we've talked about being able to build your own habitat, and not only that, getting some type of reward system to where you got some type of items where you can hang up in your house and saying, look, I did a lot to get this, or I did a lot to, or I just got a trophy for getting that snow beast out in Microtech, and now you got his face up against your wall or things like that. I think players like those types of things when it shows the type of accomplishments that they've made in game as they were playing the game system. And I see a lot of this, and I'm starting to get excited about it, especially that Office of the Imperial Justice, where you got to go ahead and pay your pay your fines and your dues. Gigi, that looks like it's going to be up your alley. What do you think?
Gigi is not a criminal, you know that.
You know he know that. I don't know why he want to get on my nerves.
I mean, there are things called accidental homicide. I mean, they happen. I've seen people crash ships.
Look, that wasn't even me.
I didn't say. I just said I've seen people crash ships. I was just wondering.
Listen, you know full well I do not get into criminality. I will leave that up to you, sir. Gigi is a law-abiding citizen. I'm gonna pay my taxes and live on my life.
That note, the next Valentine's Day card that you can get says, "Love is like heaven, but it can hurt like hell." Just saying.
Yeah, last but not least is the new reputation stuff, and we'll move on.
It ain't gonna even be accidental, Nihilus.
Reputation system. All right, something worth having. I can't wait. This is where your Starliner is going to kick in, and things like that. Thank you. I appreciate that. So I bought a Starliner this last anniversary cycle because I knew the reputation system was coming in, and I was excited to see what they had. If you haven't seen the Starliner videos, look at that, guys, when they talk about the people that you can go ahead and hire. It talks about the drinks that they can go ahead and serve to the customers, the type of customers you can have. You can have type of customers that Griff loves to go ahead and cherish around, the rich, uppity, rich, the whalers. Or you can go ahead and get the type of customers that normally just have a hard time flying from place to place and using a reputation system. That I love right there. Did we look at this yet, Griff?
I mean, they ran it. They just talked about the reputation for this, and they showed a little bit more. I can speed it up a little bit.
I loved what they said here, and I stopped this several times. You want to play it, or you just want to talk about it?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, he just talks about they show some background stuff for the NPCs here. That's coming up next.
Yep.
And I guess that bar up there, the colored bar, may reflect in some way or other. Sorry, I was muted. Sorry. I think that bar reflects, I guess, some way or other what the reputation is, from red to yellow to green or whatever. I don't know. I haven't got a good look at it.
Well, I looked at it, and I thought it was amazing. I thought it was a great start for what they had. Gigi, have you seen this? Fifth Place, have you seen this? Go Map, have you seen this? And then we can start from there. Gigi?
I've only seen it in the video. I haven't interacted with it.
No, it's not in. It's not in yet. This is coming. This is coming down the road.
I've seen the video.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm excited for it because I will be a law-abiding citizen, so my reputation is going to be great. But no, I am excited for it because of the kind of gameplay that I like to do. Reputation is going to be pretty big for me. Things like being a dock worker and being a miner, and doing that kind of sideline but secondary helpful gameplay is going to be big with reputation, because that's how I'm going to make my money, is being good at what I do and people hiring me out. So I'm excited.
Okay, all right. Fist to face in this new system, and maybe Chris can go ahead and scroll back. It looks like it shows all the companies, and I think we saw Anvil on here, and it shows you that if you support a company, like if you look at the top here where it says Anvil Aerospace and it says allies, and then it talks about the allies and the people that are in it, like Miles Eckhart and stuff like that, and then at the bottom of it says enemies. So I thought this was great because it says that if you decide to go ahead and let's say you're doing stuff with ArtCorp, you could lose affinity points with Anvil. That's what I'm thinking. What do you think, Fist to Face, and then Go Map?
To me, this I actually like, because playing the game Warframe, they actually have an affinity system just like this, where you do something for somebody and that will counteract with another faction, which is cool, because like you'll have to try to find a happy medium, or you'll just have to basically just choose one side, period. Because if either what they're offering is going to benefit you, maybe it could be, as far as jobs, as we know, could be outfits, other things like that. It's cool. I actually enjoy it. Plus it'll also kind of make the gameplay interesting to see, how the dynamics between, mercenaries, freelancers that are out there, how will they take advantage of this system, and what is their mindset going to be? Are they going to go all the way, or are they going to ride that middle, if there's a way to do that, or, however it goes, but I definitely enjoy this.
Yeah, Go Map. If looking here, it looks like it's got 3 categories. Business, like for example, business partnership, military liaison, industrial espionage, and it seems like it's got several characteristics for each category. What do you think about the type of effort that they're putting in here that we're just not being able to see in terms of the reputation system, just not even in debut yet? What do you think about it?
So 3 things, right? First of all, I think it's amazing. I'm really looking forward to this coming into game. Not only just because the being able to understand where you stand with these factions, but also to see the different sub characters within the factions and your relationship with them. And I imagine there will be different gameplay elements tied to those relationships that could, be beneficial or detrimental either way, right? Secondly, it seems like they're looking to push you down choosing a path, so to speak, right? Who are you going to align with? And that will dictate, the benefits that you get from aligning to certain factions or certain organizations, right? There may be ships that you're able to purchase. There may be missions that you're able to do, armor that you're able to wear. They may even tie it to guns and ship components, right? That are only available to people with certain levels of reputation with certain factions. So I think that's going to be a really cool gameplay loop. I've been a gamer for a long time. I play WoW and other games, and what I'm concerned about, not necessarily concerned about, I'm just really interested in seeing how they're going to handle the meta situation, right? Is there going to be a meta faction where if you pick them, they will give you the most money, the most power, the most comfort, freedom, et cetera, right? So how are they going to continue to balance this to make it, a viable choice, right? You can pick and choose based upon certain factors. So I think this is, yet again, is just adding this into the game is just going to make it much deeper and a much more immersive gameplay in Star Citizen.
Yeah, good point. Good point to make, especially that middle point, because that's definitely in some games right now. Like even in New World, if you played the pre-alpha, they had something like that going on with those three factions. So, Gigi, what do you think? With this whole thing, I mean, it looks fantastic. The affinity, the types of orgs that you can go ahead and work with to improve your affinity.
No, it looks good. I'm excited to work with it, but I'm also slightly weary of feeling overwhelmed with it all. Because I know CIG and Chris Roberts, and the likelihood that it's going to get much deeper than it is even right now is very high. And I worry about Star Citizen becoming that game where it takes an hour and a half before you get to play. You know what I mean? You got to come in and do 32 things before you can actually begin your like game time, which is something I don't ever enjoy. But I'm going to go with the understanding or the idea that CIG has a plan and that they know what they're doing and that they're going to find some sort of middle ground to mitigate that and make it where, we can all enjoy it to the best of our ability.
Yeah,
can I throw in something real quick?
Sure,
just two things. I think Gigi's point's real well made, and I think it's good that she's mentioning that because that has come up several times from people who've talked about wanting to be, for lack of a better term, the casual player who can come in and just enjoy themselves. Some people have talked about the people who say like, I don't have time to spend, grinding. I don't have time to grind. So people are like, I want to be able to get in and do certain things. But I think that the example that they've given us that validates what she's saying is, if you remember when they first talked about getting in and starting up a ship, they said if somebody wants to flip all 13 buttons to start the ship, they can. Or if somebody just wants to hit flight ready, they can. So they are trying to, like you said, they are trying to, be aware of that, because you're right, you'll lose a good portion of game community for the people who do want to get in. I know how we are, but we want to start doing something and it takes us 30 minutes just to get out, off the freaking train.
Exactly,
It kind of drives you crazy. So, you don't want to go any longer than that. I do want to mention something that L-Doc mentioned, a Kelosal. He mentioned, and I didn't notice it either till he said it. Look on the bottom of that screen. Those are just the three that it's showing. There's a slider down there. So that reputation spans even further across. Yeah, L-Doc mentioned that. So that would be really interesting to see what are the other categories, because those are limited, just those three. It's got to be a lot more different categories for reputation. So I'd love to find out what's behind the curtain.
Right, and to the contrary to what Gigi was talking about, I think it's fantastic if a lot is there, because we've always asked, whatever we're seeing right now, it's not enough. Can we do more? Can we do more? Can we do more? And usually with these types of reputations, you want it to be so intense to where it's going to take you a lot of time to get that special perk.
But no, but her point is you want it to be that intense. That's what we're saying. We want to have it both ways. We want to have it set the people who want to go in deep can, and the people right.
It'll be the flip side. Go ahead, Gigi.
4 hours. I don't always have 4 hours to get in and fly around the verse. I don't frankly, because of my schedule lately, 9 times out of 10, I got about an hour and a half. If I spend my whole hour and a half just moving sliders and prepping, that's not fun at all.
That's a good point. Fair point to make.
I think it boils down to, if they're, for the casual gamers, you can just play how you want to play and have a good time. But for those people that are min-maxers, right? And they want to get the most power, the most money, and basically get the most out of the game, right? There should be a path for them to do more to get more.
Right. So that they don't get bored. You don't want either side to
And
get
that's
bored.
why I'm
Good
saying
point.
I'm trusting that CIG understands this, and as up until now they've done a somewhat good job of mitigating that and finding, you know, that middle ground where everybody gets what they want. So I'm just hoping that they're going to continue in that vein and make this a little simpler for people who just don't have the ability to play as in depth as they might like us to.
Sounds like you just want to jump in the game and don't want to do any dailies, you know, like other MMOs.
No, I don't.
I
I
hear
do
you.
not.
I understand. I understand.
I don't, because I'm not going to play daily. I'm not going to lie to you. I have things to do. You know what I mean?
I
I've
hear
got
you. I
too
understand.
many things going on in my life. I can't get in every day. And then if I forget, I don't want to get in, and everything that I've done is now a mess because I've forgotten for 3 days or haven't had the time for 3 days.
Yeah. Now, on the other side, on the other spectrum of this, and Griff, if you don't mind, on the other spectrum, you get to the dossier. The dossier has, you know, it's almost like a journal. You know, if you move over a little bit, there you go. It's almost like a journal. Now, this is what I've been looking for, because I was like, okay, well, why don't you know, when you open up the Moby Glass and you go to the star map, and you click a planet, like you should see a whole bunch of things on the right hand side about that planet and things that that it tells you and all that good stuff. And we're not able to see that yet. But I like this iteration of it because at least in the reputation system, it's going to tell you about Anvil. I read this whole entire thing, and I thought it was great. I read about the divisions, about the headquarters, about how many employees it has, about the current valuation of it. Look at all that money that company's worth, and the headquarters, Port Olisar, Crusader, Stanton. I just thought that was phenomenal. I've been looking for that type of stuff in game, and this is just the companies. If Griff goes further, it goes into the players that are associated with those companies, like Miles Eckhart, and then Clovis. You know, I love Clovis' Clovis self, and then, you know, and then of course Rico and Rudo, and Wallace with his lovely medicinal self. So I just love the fact that they are moving in this direction. I mean, what do you think about the starting with Gigi? What do you think about the potential of this being the library?
We need to move on and get to the
I'm not mad.
SCL questions.
I'm not mad.
We're running late.
The library right now is a hot mess express. So I'm not mad at this. I would enjoy the ability to see like an actual avatar for, you know what I mean, for everything that I'm going through, for everyone that I interact with. That's pretty cool, and I would like to actually be able to read up on it a little bit and see what's going on. So I would like this. I'm not mad at this. This is cool.
Okay, and I'm really quickly, face to face.
Yeah, I like it as well. This is going to actually force me to read and put my public schooling to work, and everything. You know, because I'll be honest with you, in most MMOs, I just skip over all of that stuff. And I'm just like, just let me get straight to the fighting.
Just let me kill the things, bro.
Exactly. That's me. Hence the name, Fist to Face. I'm ready. Let's go.
If I'm in Discord and I'm doing it, all you see is click, 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 click. Everybody's like, you're not gonna even try to read. Nope, that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to kill them. That's it.
And I'm going quickly here because of time. Go, Matt. What do you think, buddy?
You know, as long as the lore information is tied to gameplay in some way and it benefits me from reading it, I'll read it. If not, I'll skip it.
All right, DJ, it's time to go to the next one. SCL, Star Citizen Live. This was quite interesting and long, but let's get some talking points about this. Go ahead, Griff.
Yeah, there's only going to be 4 questions. They're short, so we're just going to get feedback on them. Okay, it's first question.
First question, the perennial one for every time capital ships show up. Why no interiors? Who wants to tackle that one?
I'll take that one. I have a little snippet here from John Crew that I'll read. But I just want to say, because they weren't integral, they're not integral to this mission, and we are currently working on the tech to dynamically stream in these interiors. And as you can imagine, the interior of the Javelin is going to hurt your frames. So, like, for that reason, if nothing else, we didn't include it. But there are other reasons. Obviously, it makes it harder for you to steal the ship, which is always important. Yeah, it also doesn't spoil
Epic
it. If someone
fail on
gets
that
it
one.
and walks around, they've kind of spoiled the surprise.
Yeah, we've done limited tours over the years and whatever, but we have been cognizant to hold certain visuals and content back because we want people to to experience that for themselves whenever these things do fully come online for players.
That was the first question.
All right, so no interiors. GG.
That was the first question.
I mean, what do you think about? I mean, he said that they put no interiors because they didn't want anybody to steal the ships, and that was a fail on that one.
And I agree. Don't put it out if you don't want me to see it. And if you're gonna give it to me, and give it to me 100%. Don't give me half of it. I don't want bits and pieces.
Mr. Face?
I'm okay with it. I mean, I didn't try to steal it, but it was fun to see how other players figured it out. I just want to fight it, hence my name.
So bad. I mean, on the flip side, he did say something about FPS.
I mean, it's not needed for what they're testing. I understand why they didn't put it in there. I'm all right with it.
Okay. All right. Let's go
Here's
to
a
the
real
next
popular
question.
Is it supposed to be this easy to kill an Idris? How do you balance this when you don't know if it's fighting 10 players or 50 players? And take your time with this one, Rich.
Yeah, so it has been really tricky balancing this because it isn't just the number of ships; it's the type of ships as well that people bring, and it's also the way they use their ships, the tactics they use, the timings they use. There's so many variables, and it comes down to how well they can defend themselves as well. So we did have a really good idea of the baseline strengths of these big ships, and we feel we've kind of hit roughly in the right place for the baseline strength, but we don't feel they're fully able to defend themselves yet. And there's lots of factors involved with that, but we are kind of working on this, and we're basically looking back at how players have attacked these big ships, and we're learning weaknesses that these ships have. There's certain times when the players can outgun the turrets, and it's basically because the ship can't keep up with the movement and the turrets can't keep up, and they're able to find a hole where they can't get shot. And they can move in that, and it's really hard for those big ships to react to that. So we're looking at its weaknesses, and we're looking at how well the big ships can defend against torpedoes, because that's what does the real damage to these ships is the torpedoes, and that. So we do see sometimes where these big ships can use countermeasures really effectively. That's really cool, and they can also shoot some of the big torpedoes. And it's just getting that balance right between we want these big torpedoes that are basically small nuclear devices to do damage to these ships, but at the same time, we want the big ships to be able to defend themselves at the same time. And hitting that balance when you have as many variations possible as we have currently is, it is really tricky. But we're going to look back at these events, and we're going to, and we are going to improve it from both a balance side and an AI side as well.
And there is the elephant in the room, which is obviously the servers that are, struggling right now, because, like, if you're talking about should it be this easy to kill an Idris, and all you say is like, it only takes size 9 torpedoes to blow it up, that seems like too little. I think actually no, that makes some kind of sense. As Rich is saying, the issue is that they're not shooting them out of the sky or doing that, and on our local servers kind of thing, that works. It works really well. Like it's balanced to the point where these guys, I mean, you bring in a whole group of retaliators and you organize them, and you will easily take down an Idris, because that's what the retaliators, they're designed for that.
Right.
Okay, so a lot to talk about here, so I'm just gonna be specific. Easy to kill in Idris. Um, so we'll start with GoMap. You said you've done this stuff before. I mean, is it easy to kill an Idris for you? What do you think? Should they make it difficult? What do you
I
think?
mean, I can understand if 5 people can go in there and take down an Idris, but every time I've been out there, it's been about 20 folks shooting at it for quite a while. So, you know, I think it's properly balanced right now. Mind you, the Idris is not using their missiles. The Idris is not using their countermeasures quite yet. So there's still some tuning left to be done. I think it's in a good place.
Okay. Mr. Face.
I do have to agree with him on it not using all of its defensive mechanisms, but I will have to say though, it kind of has been a bit easy to take them down, because if you get a group of retaliators out there and you all are locked in and you send about 6 missiles at it, it's going down.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, they did say that they do come up with strategies on how to take it down, and they did say use the cheap missiles, find the small ships with the cheaper missiles, to go ahead and make them use the counters. With that, GG, what do you think about Idris? Too easy to kill, or what?
I mean, I would say I don't know. It's hard for me to gauge. So in this instance, I kind of have to just take what they say. You know what I mean? As gospel. If they say that nine size 9 missiles should be able to take down an Idris, I kind of just have to take their word for it, because I haven't shot at an Idris. But also I think that if it were too much harder, once that ship is firing back at you, it would make it almost impossible. And that won't be fun.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Fair point to make. I mean, I think honestly that, I mean, just like they were saying, they said a lot of things here. I'm with Doc. I think it needs to be harder. I do think that they don't have a couple of techs in yet, like maybe armor tech. We see the splash damage with the shields. We see that, but they did say things. There are other things that are not in the game yet that they want to put in that could. But if they put it in now, it could affect the FPS. So it seems like FPS right now is a major issue. So that means that basically you need to go ahead and get your server side meshing and all that other stuff in to go ahead and be able to handle all that situation. So let's go to the next question.
Fighting capital ships can seem similar to fighting open world bosses in other traditional MMOs. How will Star Citizen reward players?
Good night, Nordic, and thank you for the Prime follow.
Thanks, Nordic.
With UEC?
Just say we haven't gotten there yet, Luke.
We haven't gotten there yet. I mean, obviously, we're looking now into all the ways we can reward players, like physical items, perks, reputation. What does the perks that reputation gives you?
Salvage opportunities.
I mean, obviously scavenging from their freedom, in that they may have been locking down a location and now everyone can rush in. Yeah.
Lots of things on the table. Nothing definitively set.
Okay, so this is one of the things that I think people are talking about. I think I barely heard this. We're talking about rewards for participating in this type of event, I guess. I mean, so what do you guys think? Obviously, I mean, this is a open and shut case. There needs to be a lot more rewards dealing with these types of dynamic events. What do you think? Starting with GG.
Do I think there should be a lot more rewards? No, I think making a giant hoard of money is more than enough.
Just want that money. I mean,
pay me. I don't need the rest.
Okay. It could be a component drop. Maybe a component that you need.
I'll buy my component. Pay me my money.
Go back. What do you think? You need more rewards with this. You could get a maybe like in World of Warcraft, you go out there and you do something, and all of a sudden you get that purple item or what have you. What do you think?
Money, rep, salvage opportunities. I think that's going to have to be that's going to have to do it for these type of events. But the amount has to be commensurate with the effort.
Okay, not yet. Yeah. Space.
I have to echo the same money, and I will say yes. Give me a rare drop now, so I can basically show it off to the universe, and then now they're coming try to steal it from me, right?
Yep. I agree. Money and give me a rare drop. Because if I could do anything to improve my size, whatever components with that type of dynamic event, I'm all for it.
You get that legendary.
Yeah,
I just don't want it to be like every other game, right? I don't want drops. That's just me. I just don't want drops. I feel like it's been done. Making it a loot shooter is just.
Mm-hmm.
I
think what they'll.
Doc says no rares.
I think it'll be more like, let's say if you complete it and you do as much damage to it, and your reputation goes up, maybe you'll get a huge discount on that item that you've been trying to get. Something.
Maybe
like
get some
that.
cool stuff from salvage, right? You can get cool stuff out from salvage.
You get a discount. You get a discount coupon, like a 10% card at Lorville or something like that. If you handle those types of reputations, and you go there and you spend it. Interesting. Interesting points. Okay. All right. Not bad. Next.
What's going to prevent capital ships from eventually just dominating all of ship combat?
Comes down to balance, right? So it basically comes down to we want these ships to be feared. We want these are massive ships with massive artillery, massive access to weapons. But it comes down to the balance. And it comes down to the other ships in the game, So and basically, as Luke said earlier, we've got the Eclipse, we've got the Retaliator, and these ships are designed to bring down their ships. And it's how we strike the right balance down between this big ship and these other, kind of smaller ships, but with much more powerful weapons. And it's just how those things come together will define how dominant the capital ships are in the game.
Yeah, and they're expensive, and they take a long time to get back and repair. So if you think you've got carte blanche to just, roam around being a bully, or you think you're going to take out every pirate, you're not, because there are systems in place that will prevent that too. If you start becoming too famous or too infamous, then we can create systems that send bounty hunters after you. I'm sure there will be players out there, player bounty hunters, player assassins, whose sole role is to take out capital ships. So and the stations are going to have I'm sure we'll see station mounted railguns and stuff like that in the future. You won't just be able to waltz in anywhere and just because you've got a big ship, right?
Okay, face to face. What's going to prevent capital ships from dominating?
I think, like they said, balance. You kind of have to have that balance of, like you said, if you have a capital ship, and your players are going to have to be good at shooting, in that ship, as well as those ones that are trying to take it down. That's like, I have to echo what they're saying. It just basically boils down to the balance of how the mechanics of everything is going to work. That was one of the reasons why I would have to say I was, my dad was thinking about buying a javelin to protect our cargo. But yeah, it's going to come down to that, like they said, and it's going to have a lot of ironing out to do for them.
DG?
I think that it'll probably be organized gameplay. Because Star Citizen has always been billed to us as a social game, right? For the most part, it's not going to be just you and your prospector out on Daymar. You're going to have to be in an org, you're going to have friends, or you're not going to have the best time in the game. So it's gonna have to be just organized gameplay. It's gonna have to be you and your friends all in your tallies out there, specifically hunting down capital ships to keep them out of the air, keep them out of airspace, because if they get too deep, too far, too fast, you're kind of screwed. So I really do think it's gonna be like almost having to create our own world police.
Yeah. Go map.
Capital ships, big, slow, and pack a big punch, but there are purpose-built ships that are meant to be able to put a hurting on them that can move a lot faster. Capital ships are meant to be defended with fighters and other craft, right? So I don't see them tipping the scales too terribly. They may be able to come in and lay down the smackdown early on before people can respond, but I think the balance is there to keep them in check.
Yeah. Not bad. I'm just gonna give you three ships: Nautilus, an Inferno, or a Perseus. That'll take down the capital ship.
Give me a Crusader Ion, baby.
Yeah, there you go. That too. GG, our next one.
Okay, everybody. So coming up, we have a machinima for you guys on one of my very, very favorite Star Citizen ships, the Avenger TITAN. Was the first ship I had that was actually worth flying. Because before that, the only ship that I had was, what was that little thing? An Aurora flying brick.
Yes.
So I upgraded her and I got my Avenger Titan. And my Avenger Titan is probably what I'm in the most. If you see a Titan out there, it's probably me. So let's do the thing and let's roll the clip. We got a machinima for y'all. Also follow us, y'all. We trying to get to 1,000 followers. And that was a machinima by GoodGames. And Griff has put the link in the Discord if you guys would like to watch it.
Quite a nice video for the Avenger series. I had the Stalker originally, and I love the Stalker. And now that they rebuilt the bounty caskets or containers or whatever, I may have to get that back. I had to get that back. What do you think about the video?
I thought it was nice. You go ahead, face to face.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I thought it was a nice video. It was very calming, relaxing. I definitely enjoyed the music and the cinematics of it. Yeah, it was very nice.
It was nice. It was a little bit long, but it was good. The camera work was really nice. Some of those angles were ridiculous, and they somehow managed to make it seem much bigger than it was. There's just not that much to it, but the way they showed it, you would have thought there was a lot going on in there.
Yeah. Go map.
Great video, great editing, great camera work. I'm not the biggest fan of the ship. It can do some things, but not the stuff I like to do. So, I'd rather see this video on Cuddy Black.
Yeah, well, we got a lot more time for that to happen with the Cuddies. But great video by GoodGames, and go check them out. Looks like a lot more things are yet to come from them. Well, it's about that time, and just it's Valentine's Day is coming up. Just one more good thing to say about those Valentine's Day cards. If you get one for somebody, make sure it says, "Every love story is beautiful, but ours is my favorite." Ain't that a nice card to say to somebody? But happy Valentine's Day to you. Happy Lunar New Year to you all. I want to thank Gigi, obviously my great and wonderful co-host. They're like,
Look, you can't make me eye roll and then be like, "Hey, say hi to everybody."
We want to thank our guests, GoMap, ATL, and we want to thank Fist to Face and his dad for popping in and joining us with us, guys. Thank you for joining us.
We're going to be rating Captain Burks tonight. Captain Burks.
We're going to rate Captain Burks, but before we rate Captain Burks, remember, March 7th, Gigi is what?
It is our 1-year anniversary. Woo! And if we should have gotten to 1,000 followers by then, we will be doing a very wonderful ship giveaway for a very nice ship. So you guys hit the follow button. Tell your friends to hit the follow button, because we almost been here for a year, y'all. Who would have thunk it?
Who would have thunk it? All right, guys. Thank you for joining us. Thank you as always. Thank you for joining us Friday Night Live. Please join us Sunday for Soul Citizens. And remember, have a wonderful evening. Gigi, again, thank you. Everybody, thank you. And peace, love, and soul.
Soul, baby. See you later.